how nice is it to just kind of open up and run away like that?
Yeah, it's good. The first wasn't our best. Needed some saves, but cleaned up a lot after that. Special teams was good. PK was great. Power play wasn't great, but you find a way. You put some pucks on net and get some goals. And I think sometimes that's just how power plays goes. You put it at the net and get some, but definitely cleaned up a lot. 5-on-5 there in the second period.
You also had to play one defenseman down. I mean, how was that?
Yeah, it's never easy, but sometimes it simplifies as D-man. You're not going to do too much because you don't want to get caught out there or anything. So, sometimes mentally it helps to know you're keeping short shifts, keep it simple, and try and get up to the forwards and play in there. And less you're defending, the easier that is.
You've got two tonight, one the other night. I mean, are you feeling it?
I wouldn't say that. I think sometimes it's just the law of averages. I think. Last year the puck luck to start wasn't great. This year, the same shots find a way to go in. So, I think obviously on those goals it was, great play by that fourth line. I thought they were awesome tonight. Made a big difference to turn the tide for us. And then JT just, getting that front on the power play. I think that's, like I said, we tried to simplify. So I think it's more just, puck luck and, the same shots that found a way to go in tonight.
What was working on special teams for you guys tonight?
Yeah, I think the PK was really good. I think we didn't give up, too many great A's, and if we did, you need to save, and we usually get those. And power play started off a little slow, but I think once our unit simplified, we tried to just get shots, recover, and make a move like that. And same with that second unit there. So, like I said, sometimes with power plays, it's puck luck too. You shoot a puck at the net, and sometimes it goes in, sometimes doesn't. But at least you're getting it there and creating something.
Was there a little added motivation to get that one for Mike Sullivan, especially after the way the first one went?
For sure. We let him down definitely that first game and playing a team, and it's obviously emotional for him to be back at a place he's been for so long and had so much success. So, like I said, we didn't give him the best start, but I thought we responded really well, and definitely happy to get the win for him. We're still finding our way a little bit. I think it's Trocheck goes out, has been with us a bit, but having those 2 one-timers is a little different for us. It's a little different look, but like I said, I think sometimes the best way to get it going is just to simplify. Sorry, Cass. Is just to simplify, and like I said, we shoot a puck and that goes in. The other group throws it back door, goes off a skating in. So I think once you start with the simple, it starts to open up, and there's a lot of skill on the unit. So I think that's when it starts to create chances. You could use that a little bit more.
The big guys in Pittsburgh, they always said they appreciated the way he communicated, that he'd be honest with you and tell you where you stood. Have you experienced that with him in your early portion of your relationship with him?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's been a pretty good back and forth, and there's been a conversation and communication. It hasn't been just one way, so I appreciate that. So, like I said, it's so far so good.
You've had a couple of games where the opposition's made a push. You've been able to handle the push. How has the team been able to do that?
I mean, obviously we have great goaltending as well. That helps. I think we're going to have periods and moments in games where we're not going to play well. We're just going to make sure that we make sure that our lows are not that low. And even though we weren't maybe happy with our first period, we still get out of that period with the lead and kind of reset, restart. And I thought from second period on, we played a lot better.
How did you like your line tonight?
Yeah, I thought we had some chances. I think we got a kind of choppy first period, a lot of PK, and obviously second period some power plays and whatnot. But just getting used to playing with them again, and see how we can mesh. And yeah, I thought it was a good start.
Mika, special teams are such a strength for you guys for years, and then obviously last year we see you kind of take a step back, especially power play. So how are you feeling about it early on? Tonight, obviously, really big for you guys. I think 3 of the first 4 goals were on special teams.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we've had some good looks. I think we've had some good power plays, and then we mix in a couple not very good ones. But obviously, it's I think. Just the automatics and finding our groove, having Trocheck be out last game and then have Laffy in. I think when we have I don't think we had that much time as we in games as well to kind of get that in preseason. But I think it's been good. It's just tonight the puck goes in, and that was huge for us, and that meant a lot for us as a team as well. So just gotta keep going. I'm not worried, but obviously like everyone, you just want it to click, and you want everything to be. You want to be clicking at 50% or whatever, but that's not always the reality. It's and it gets more talked about because it's the start of the season. If this was game 47 to 49, you wouldn't talk about it as much. So we just gotta keep going.
The PK though, just with that ability to generate momentum on the PK, it's like you guys have had that for a while as well, and getting that a goal early on, I'm sure that was kind of what you needed in that moment. Yeah, I mean when we have our chances, when we can go, we go. I think that's been us on the PK for a very long time, and I feel like guys have been past few years slotting into that PK. I think you kind of get drawn into that. I guess mindset as well, not to cheat for offense, but knowing that it's as a power play, playing on the power play. There's times where you might try to you go 4 low or 3 low, and then you kind of lose a guy up top, and then away they go, and that's what we've been able to do, and we were able to do that tonight again.
Mike, another complete game to back-to-back on the road?
Well, we liked the second and the third period. We thought we were a very different team in the second and the third. I thought we got outplayed in the first 20, and I thought Pittsburgh just played harder. They won puck battles, and we didn't play nearly as well. But I thought the response was terrific by the guys. I thought they played a much more determined game for the last 40 minutes, and I think that shows you what we're capable of when we play with that focus and that determination.
Mike, what were the emotions like for you when they had the video tribute in the first period? You knew it was coming, I'm sure.
I did. It's it's emotional. It means a lot. I'm grateful for everything that we accomplished here during my time. I'm grateful for the opportunity to coach here in Pittsburgh for 10 years, and I'm so grateful to the group of players over those years that performed the way they did, that allowed us to have the success that we had. So, and when you watch a tribute like that, which I was very appreciative for the Penguins, they didn't have to do that. It brings back a flood of emotions.
So what do you think of seeing Nick Bonino on the bench? Is that something you probably thought he had a future in?
Well, absolutely. He was a real cerebral player. His hockey IQ is off the charts as a player himself. So the fact that he's getting into coaching doesn't surprise me one bit. I think he'll be terrific. The fact that I see him behind the bench just makes me feel that much older, because it wasn't too long ago when he was, raising a Stanley Cup over his head.
What can you say about the way Adam Fox contributed in all situations tonight?
I think Foxy's having a real strong start for us. He's playing in so many key situations, all situations, on the penalty kill, the power play, 5-on-5. I think he's really had a strong start for us. What I like about his game right now is just his physicality down low. He's defending hard, and I think his offense speaks for itself. He sees the game really well. He has the ability to slow the game down offensively, and a lot of players don't do that in today's game, and he has that knack. But I've been really impressed with his commitment to play defense.
What were your impressions of the third and fourth line tonight? Because they were strong.
Yeah, they played hard. I think they played the game that we're trying to define for them when they play straight ahead. I think Lobbs is getting better with every game that he plays. Obviously his size, his speed, his skating ability, his strength. On the goal they scored in the third period was a great example of it. Just the second effort was terrific, but when they play a straight-ahead game and they're allowed to, they play to their strengths. They have an opportunity to establish a forecheck. They can use their physical play to their advantage, especially Sam Carrick's line. Those guys are giants, and they're hard to handle. And when they go to the net, they're a handful for anyone, and that's what they're capable of. So, we'll continue to build on that. But I was happy for them tonight.
I don't believe you guys have given up a goal on the PK yet through 3 games. If maybe I'm mistaken, but I don't think so. What have you made of it so far, and especially getting the shorthanded goal tonight? That they've always kind of had, especially Mika, that opportunistic kind of knack there. But what have you made of the PK so far?
I think it's a work in progress. I think we've had moments when it's looked really good. I think there's been other moments where we're not where we want to be yet. But when you have Shesty make a timely save for you, that certainly helps. But I think Joe's doing a real good job as far as trying to get these guys on the same page. Some of the concepts that we're bringing to them, they're new. And so there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment there, but I think they're getting a clearer picture of what we're trying to accomplish and how we're trying to accomplish it is the most important thing. Just, identifying, trigger points on where we're going to pressure and just working cooperatively, who's responsible for what in certain situations. And I think, as I said, I think there's been moments where it looks pretty good and we've got a handle on it, and then there's others where we look a little bit disconnected, but it's not anything we didn't expect.